Welcome back, friends and viewers, to the part 5 of our Blood Mage walkthrough. Picking up where we last left off, now we're actually going to go to the Tower of Ishal. Alistair and the main character called the Warden, we have been tasked with lighting one of the fires to let Loghain, to let his army know when to charge in to flank the Darkspawn, to essentially help the king and Duncan and their forces to hopefully turn the tide of the battle. This reminds me of like Lord of the Rings. The Battle of Helm's Deep.
The plan will work, Your Majesty.
Of course it will. The blight ends here. Archers! Hounds! For Ferelden! Let's cross the bridge.
As you saw, it's a pretty intense battle, but now we have to make our way to the tower. I'd recommend just keeping to the left here and then pausing periodically, just because, as you saw, there's going to be throwing in some, I guess you would say, like boulders that are on fire from the catapults, and you can actually get hit just by a shockwave. So I don't want to take any unnecessary damage. Now, coming up here, if you make a
Help
left...
me. They're everywhere. You're Grey Wardens, aren't you? The tower, it's been taken.
What are you talking about, man? Taken how?
The Darkspawn came up through the lower chambers. They're everywhere. Most of our men are dead.
Then we have to get to the beacon and light it ourselves.
Typical. That's just what we're going to have to do now. As you saw, we just picked up 2 temporary companions. I believe one is like a soldier, and then the other is basically like a rogue archer, just to basically outfit our class with all the different, or excuse me, outfit our party with all the different classes. But now, we actually get to see the glyph of paralysis and the glyph of repulsion in action. Let's go ahead, and I can't wait to show this to you guys, because it's super fun to do. Let's put it down here.
And I'm off.
And then let's go ahead and cast it right on top. There we go. So we actually ended up catching 3 enemies right there just by that, just by doing that combo, which is a heck of a lot of fun. But we'll do vulnerability hex on this dude. We'll do drain life and then arcane bolt and be down. Easy peasy. And now that these enemies are still stuck in paralysis, they're going to be easy pickings for us to take down.
And I'm off.
Right then. And that.
Another point for me. Yes.
Attack!
If you insist.
Alright, right on. Now, let's just quick see if we can loot as much as we can around here without slowing us down too much.
Oh, right.
Oh, dang it. Oh, I thought I was far enough away, but I wasn't. Oh, shoot. Alright, well, as you saw, that's just the dangers of casting that, this combo, just that everybody will be caught in it, because we are a little bit more reckless. I'll tell you what, let me heal. I'm gonna heal Alistair. I guess it's just better to see if you can use that combo, especially when enemies are far away, or potentially using it on a ranged enemy.
Yes.
Just in case there's multiple ranged enemies, or like a mage that you would be fighting at the time.
More darkspawn, hey?
Alright, let's keep moving up though. Let's put a hex on that guy. See if we can nuke him real quick.
And I'm off.
I did it! I killed one!
How amusing!
That guy, so we definitely need to prioritize on that Herlock Alpha. But we are out of mana, so let's just go ahead. We drank a potion. We'll do Glyph of Paralysis. He will run into that. Yep. Perfect. It's back. Forget it. We're not going to do the massive or like that combo just because we have 3.
I need some help here! There's so many!
Look over there!
Huh. Take all of that!
Hex on that guy, and then Arcane Bolt.
Oh, right. I don't think so.
Perfect. Alright, now that we're done with the outside, let's just quick loot the enemies, and then we're going to make our way into the tower to eventually light that fire. Alright, cool. Oh, important to note, so in the last episode, we leveled up Alistair, and I picked up, I believe I picked up shield defense, but it looks like right now he has shield cover.
Yes.
Let's put that back on him. I will at some point show you the different tactics that I choose, just that way your allies are going to be a little bit more responsive to you and the situations that you're running into, just to make them, I don't know, make them more responsive in battle, and it's going to be easier for you to not micromanage as much. And then I just got hit by the fire because I'm too busy talking to y'all instead of focusing on what I'm doing. So let's
Going.
Alright, we need to focus on the emissary first. Whenever you come across a group of enemies, regardless if they're humans or like humanoids or darkspawn, always focus on the mage just because they are the biggest pain in the butt. Let's do Glyph of Paralysis on that emissary, and then we're going to do the Hex, so it'll take more elemental damage, and then we're going to see if we can nuke him as fast as we can.
Take that!
And I'm off. Yes.
Down. Just in case.
And I'm off.
We should be alright though.
Let's do this quickly, shall we?
I did it! I killed one!
Alright, good. We took them all down. Let's loot and keep moving. Which one of you is the archer? Maybe they're both just soldiers. They're not a rogue. Okay, whatever. We'll just keep moving on then. We don't have a rogue in our party, so we can't, you know, open any of the lock chests, but it is what it is.
I'm off.
It's not really going to do too much to us. Alright, we're going to put down Glyph of Repulsion here. I'm hoping that's going to knock everybody down. There we go. Just to give us a little bit more spacing, and we're going to move forward.
Yes.
That's it!
Take all of that.
How amusing. Going. All right. Going.
I did it! I killed one!
We
Yes.
should be finishing up the enemies in there, and all the while we're going
And I'm
to
off.
take out this ranged character before they...
And that!
That won't stop me.
Another reason why I've been enjoying playing a mage, whenever you do your auto attack, just like the basic attacks, I don't believe they can miss. Unless you are, you're a far distance away, or like your view is partially obstructed. But I don't believe that your auto attack can miss, which is always just nice. And also, most staffs, excluding the beginning of the game, like the staff that you start off as an apprentice, they all will do some form of elemental damage, which is just going to increase the amount of damage that we do if an enemy has a hex on them, or they have some kind of debilitating effect.
Darkspawn, hey?
Now, this is a perfect example I was talking about. If you want to cast any kind of Glyph of Paralysis on a ranged enemy, and then put the Glyph of Repulsion on
Alright.
immediately afterwards,
And
you
I'm
can
off.
quickly
I
trap
did
both
it!
of them.
I killed one!
Yes.
And then they're
Not bad.
they're gonna be sitting ducks for us just to quickly take out and start a party.
All right, I'm game.
This is it!
Get it. Okay, got him. Let's just keep looting and moving on. Unless they're health poultice or poultice, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that.
Maker's breath. What are these Darkspawn doing ahead of the rest of the Horde? There wasn't supposed to be any resistance here. Right, because clearly this is all just a misunderstanding. We'll laugh about this later. At any rate, we need to hurry. We need to get up to the top of the tower and light the signal fire in time. Taron Loghain will be waiting for the signal.
That's the plan. Okay, now we made it up to the second level of the tower. As you can see, it was pretty much a massacre. And let's just go ahead and loot this crate. Deep mushroom, good for crafting. There should be a crate over here. Can't unlock it, of course not. Doesn't really matter which way you go. We are eventually going to hit both of those doors.
And I'm off. All right.
Okay, they're both down. Are they gonna... Alright, this guy has some loot. Another deep mushroom. More healing. Cool. Let's move on. Discarded book. Just a little bit more experience. Another chest we can't unlock. Alright, so now at this point, go ahead, run over to the ballista, and you can actually, if you time it right, you can knock the enemies down. But just be careful, you could hit your allies. Kind of like I just did. Oh shoot. This is so stupid. It's so stupidly fun though. Alright, actually, I gotta stop messing around. My allies are going down. We're gonna do the Glyph of Paralysis, followed by the Glyph of Repulsion. And I did get Alistair in it, but alright, that's fine. At least we did catch two enemies in that.
All right.
Oh, we did. We got 3 enemies in that. Nice. I actually did not see him around the corner. Oh,
right.
we did not get Alistair. We caught one of the guards. My apologies, I couldn't see. But we made short work of that. Greenstone, you can just go ahead and sell that to any kind of merchant. Let's just loot these crates. Elixir of grounding, and then the lesser spirit bomb. I believe those are both going to improve your resistances against their specific or respective elements. The spirit is obviously the spirit resistance, and then grounding, I believe that's against nature. Let's keep looting. They're pretty important to have, especially against certain encounters that you have throughout the campaign. Especially if potentially you have a lot of resistances, an enemy definitely uses a lot of elemental attacks.
This part takes forever. Take all of that.
Now, none of these enemies use any kind of elemental effects on us.
And I'm off.
Awesome. Took care of this group. Just a little bit more crafting items, some more gold. Man, really wishing that I had a rogue in the party that could unlock. There's a crap ton of crates that we could have used. All right, 3rd floor, and then this should be the second to last floor before we actually get up to the very top of the tower.
Loghain better be ready to charge as soon as we light the signal. The king is depending on us.
Chainmail boots. Let's see if we can equip that to Alistair. Alright, it is slightly, I think, better. And that was my dog barking. My apologies. It's not really any better. Okay, whatever. But let's just see if we can keep moving on.
I sense some darkspawn.
Great.
Oh, right.
Right there. That's just caught 3 of those.
I need some help here. Take that.
Not enough.
I need some help here.
Healer, I don't have to worry about pumping out just some heals. Let's take these guys down as quick as we can while they're still in
Like
this.
All right.
There, as you see, like that's what I was talking about. If any of your view to an enemy is obstructed, your auto attack is just going to say that it was blocked. But other than that, your auto attack should always hit, unless the enemy is like immune to the certain elemental effect that your staff will deal that type of damage.
More darkspawn, hey?
All right, at this point, let's go ahead. We're going to run over and hit the cage release, and then we're going to have our bunch of Mabari. They're going to make this part just easier for you. They're going to swarm the dark field and kind of distract them while we're focusing on a couple of enemies, especially this guy.
Yes.
Boom.
Take all of that. Yes.
Alright, that was easier, especially releasing the Mabari Hounds just gives us a little bit more allies in that fight. But we did level up. I just want to loot everything first before I go ahead and do that. Warden, Recruit Shield. I doubt that's going to be better than what Alistair has currently equipped. Well, it does give us +2 damage against Darkspawn. I guess that could be okay. Alright, forget it. We'll give it to this guy. Just because it's slightly better, I guess, than the small shield that he had. But let's go ahead and level up real quick. Again, let's just pump more points into magic. See if we can get that as high as possible. As you can see right now, compared to my other, like my most recent Blood Mage build video that I put out, I didn't put any points into persuasion or coercion. I just, at least in this playthrough, I definitely wanted to do that. At this point, it's I guess I'm gonna try either herbalism or doing improved combat tactics. But for the most part, I don't enjoy using, or I don't think it's necessary for us to have combat tactics. Just because we're almost always going to be playing as the main character. So you can kind of take this or leave this. It's up to your preference. But there's another point I would kind of, I don't know, at some point think about getting. Just because the passive from survival, it will grant a small bonus to nature resistance. I just think improving any kind of resistances and survivability is key, especially for a mage. So I tell you what, actually, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it into survival. Let's do that. Now, for the point that I want to do for this, I don't know exactly what I'm feeling at this point. I do at some point want to get Mana Clash, because that's going to help us completely starch any of the mages that we go against. But I also do want to get Death Cloud and then Death Hex, because that's another really strong combo. Guess I'm struggling on what I want to pick. I guess we'll pick up Lightning, probably, or Mana Drain. Alright, let's just pick up Lightning. We're just going to pick up more damaging abilities for right now. I always end up picking up Lightning anyway. I really like that move. Oh, we missed a corpse. Let's quick loot that and keep moving on.
Dark spores. They just crop up everywhere, don't they?
Alright. Alright, cool. At least we have,
I killed
one more ally to help us. I don't know where the other hounds went. I don't think they
Let's have at it!
Aw, you wanna try?
Actually, let's go ahead and put that on our hotbar. Let's override Glyph of Repulsion.
One for me. Going.
Oh, shoot, I didn't see him there. Alright, let's see how much this shock does. 67, not bad. And 60 now, because we have increased magic. Dang, okay, so let's just keep doing that. Let's just keep pumping up our magic as high as possible whenever we level up. Let's just loot this stuff. Lesser injury kit, and you saw Frozen Lightning, and then we just got a lesser injury kit and some more money. Let's see what else. Don't be locked. Lesser injury kit. Injury kits are good in case one of your allies goes down. You can just use that. It'll actually show up as a sustained ability on them. It'll be a red icon with some kind of image, you know, just indicating that they are hurt. You'll use a lesser injury kit on an ally that has one of those sustained injuries. It'll just remove it. If an ally has more than one injury, you'll have to use just a regular injury kit, and I believe that can take up to like 3 off.
I send some darkspawn.
Tell you what, let's put that there. We'll do the Glyph of Paralysis followed by the Glyph of Repulsion, because we are farther than our allies, and hopefully we'll catch everybody there. That is not what I want to do. I don't want to heal.
Attack!
Going. How about you dead?
Perfect. All right. Dang, that's locked too. Oh, there's one other guy. And we are actually going to be coming up on the final area of the Tower of Ishal. We're gonna fight an ogre. But now that we have the vulnerability hex, as well as we have that Glyph of Paralysis, I'm really hoping that we can make short work of this guy, especially because we do have a decent amount of magic. Hopefully this enemy isn't going to be able to resist our attacks. So tell you what, let's go ahead, and I want to put Paralysis on him first. Oh, it's not even off cooldown yet.
Oh, right.
Shoot. Alright, let's do that then. Let's put the Glyph of Paralysis, resisted it. Alright, and then let's just do the Hex.
Oh,
We'll
right.
do Arcane Bolt, followed by Shock.
Surely
See if
you're
we can just
joking.
pump out as much damage to this guy as possible. And he's gonna throw that boulder. Go ahead and move. Yep, we don't want to get hit by that.
Let's do this quickly, shall we?
Now that because we have been pumping out a lot of damage, we did draw aggro from him, and that's okay. That will happen at times. As of right now, I'm just going to keep kiting him, just because it's going to be easier rather than having us being a stationary target for him, just at least until Glyph of Paralysis is down, off cooldown.
I need some help here.
And now that he's getting attacked, we're no longer a target for him. Let's go ahead and...
I did it! I killed one!
And we stunned him. Perfect. Put the Hex back on, drain life,
Yes.
do shock. Oh, he resisted shock. Darn. Alright. Dang.
Whoops.
Alright, we are a target for him again. We'll just wait until our allies get back up. I should, at this point, I should probably heal the ally that we have that is at the bottom. We'll put the Hex on him real quick, but I'm afraid because I am so squishy, I am going to get knocked around.
And I'm off.
Ooh, 30 damage.
There's so many!
Alright, we'll do shock. Hopefully he does not
Nice
resist
try.
that. Boom! Perfect. And we did it. So we
The beacon
beat
is over
the
here.
Ogre
We've
of this
surely missed the
area.
signal.
If you go
Let's light it
around
quickly
one of
before
these
it's too late.
corners, I believe there's something to loot. So we'll loot the Ogre first. A bomb, health, the Havard's Aegis. It's a decent shield, but I don't know if I'm actually going to use it. We'll loot these barrels, see if we can get anything good out of it. Alright, we got a gift. Let's level up Alistair while we're here. And like I said, I typically like to put a lot of my points into strength first, just so that way we can equip Alistair with like the best armor possible. But I'm actually going to put some points into dexterity because that's going to help him with his chance to hit in addition to his defense. And because for a warrior and a rogue, you definitely want to have master combat training. That's going to allow us the unlocking of some of the higher tier skill abilities. Like as you see right there for like shield expertise, that passive, it requires you to have master combat training. Actually, I think all of these do. Alright, tell you what, let's go ahead and now we're going to pick up... let's pick up actually that passive. That's probably our next best bet. We're going to pick up shield balance. And there you go. We leveled up. We beat the last boss at the top of the Tower of Ishal. We're going to light the fire, and then I'm going to let the cutscene play out. But this has been part 5 of our Blood Mage walkthrough, friends. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. All right, take care.
Sound the retreat.
But what about the king? Should we not...
Do as I command.
Pull out! All of you, let's move!
Ah, your eyes finally open. Mother shall be pleased. Back in the wilds, of course. I am Morrigan, lest you have forgotten, and I have just bandaged your wounds. You are welcome, by the way. How does your memory fare? Do you remember Mother's rescue? Mother managed to save you and your friend, though 'twas a close call. What is important is that you both live. The man who was to respond to your signal quit the field. The Darkspawn won your battle. Those he abandoned were massacred. Your friend, he is not taking it well. The suspicious dim-witted one who was with you before, yes. He is outside by the fire. Mother asked to see you when you awoke. I will stay and make something to eat.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure. Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
We need to bring Loghain to judgment. Why would he do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon. Kaelin already summoned them. They'll come if they can, but I expect Loghain has already taken steps to stop them. We must assume they won't arrive in time.
It is said that long ago, the Maker sent the old gods of the ancient Tevinter Imperium to slumber in prisons deep beneath the surface. An archdemon is an old god awakened and tainted by Darkspawn. Believe that or not, history says it's a fearsome and immortal thing, and only fools ignore history.
By ourselves? No Grey Warden has ever defeated a Blight without the army of a half-dozen nations at his back. Not to mention... I don't know how.
How to kill the archdemon, or how to raise an army? It seems to me those are two different questions, Have the Wardens no allies these days?
I don't know. Duncan said that the Grey Wardens of Orlais had been called, and Al Eamon would never stand for this, surely. I suppose. Al Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help. Of course! The treaties. Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Arl Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens. Now, before you go, there is yet one more thing I can offer you.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these 2 must unite for Eldon against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the blight. Even I
understand.
And you, Wardens, do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. 'Tis not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours. Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.